So, okay, this is showing this guy who, as we get closer, he is going to indicate he thinks he knows who this is, and it's this person. Okay, this is a very well-known Hollywood makeup artist. Okay, and Mike Mekash, an American special effects makeup artist from American Horror Story, Stranger Things, Maestro, and Mad Max. Okay. And all right, so you see that, and then watch this. So the implication being obviously that Charlie was using the exact type of makeup effects that were shown earlier right there, and that would explain the massive immediate blood spurt, but the seeming lack of enormous amounts of blood on the security guards who were around and left over in the area they paved over afterwards, right? Okay, check this out. Kash Patel, now listen to this. Just real quick, just this one line I'll put on, because it has music. That's why we're being quiet.
Rest down, brother. We have the watch.
Pop quiz. What is he about to say after that line? You guys all know.
See you in Valhalla.
See you in Valhalla. Okay? Let's see if there's any relevant information related to Valhalla here. So, what are we looking at right there? Right? Take a good, hard look at that map, because that's what it is right there. Okay. Valhalla Danish house. Okay. Witness security program. And you check this out. Since 1971, more than 19,000 people, WITSEC plus family members. Official figures state that no participant who's followed the program rules has ever been killed as a result of their cooperation, which makes sense for WITSEC. Okay, so I saw that. I'm like, okay, why would Charlie Kirk need a new identity and to go to WITSEC? Answer would be if he is potentially testifying against a large criminal organization that he needs protection from. And here's the thing. If you're Charlie Kirk, you can't just go into WITSEC. You have to die, right? You have to, you can't just be like, oh, Charlie Kirk has vanished. He's vanished.
I will summarize.
All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back. So this is a video that I've been alluding to on the channel for, handful of days here, because we are going to examine a theory that people are taking very seriously, which is that Charlie may have juked this entire thing and might still be alive. Now, I will tell you in advance, the person that we're going to be interviewing here is a physicist. He is much smarter than me when it comes to the scientific method and the mode with which he has chosen to examine this. And he is 100% convinced that Charlie is alive and that this was done in a very specific way, which we'll outline at the very beginning over here. But before we even get into that, okay, because again, the bulk of this video is going to be me interviewing him. And he had a video out that he thinks he proves that this shot did not hit Charlie and was shot intentionally into a different place near Charlie to simulate everything, and then Charlie has a prosthetic, and I'm going to show you this right now. Now, what's interesting is we filmed this video, okay, and then after that video was done, before I had the opportunity to do my intro like I'm doing right now and edit it down and put in all the the censored areas, because you can't show any of the graphic stuff on YouTube. This video just dropped yesterday, and it puts a little bit more color to the theory itself in terms of okay, well, what would he be doing though? If he faked his death, what's he just gonna live underground forever? And this right here was on Instagram yesterday, and it did the rounds. So we're gonna look at that really quick right now, and then and I'll kind of take you through it, and I'll pause it so you can read everything that's in it, because it's quick, because it's an Instagram. So let's check this out real quick. And by the way, go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you don't mind, or just wait until you see something interesting and subscribe then. But if you could like this video, and if you see something that you like, go ahead and forward it to your friends. Watch this. Okay. So, okay, this is showing this guy who, as we get closer, he is going to indicate he thinks he knows who this is, and it's this person. Okay, this is a very well-known Hollywood makeup artist. Okay. Okay. And Mike Mekash, an American special effects makeup artist from American Horror Story, Stranger Things, Maestro, and Mad Max. Okay. And all right, so you see that, and then watch this. So the implication being obviously that Charlie was using the exact type of makeup effects that were shown earlier right there, and that would explain the massive immediate blood spurt, but the seeming lack of enormous amounts of blood on the security guards who were around and left over in the area they paved over afterwards, right? Okay, check this out. Kash Patel, now listen to this. Just real quick, just this one line I'll put on, because it has music. That's why we're being quiet.
Rest down, brother. We have the watch.
Pop quiz. What is he about to say after that line? You guys all know.
See you in Valhalla.
See you in Valhalla. Okay? Let's see if there's any relevant information related to Valhalla here. So, what are we looking at right there? Right? Take a good, hard look at that map, because that's what it is right there. Okay. Valhalla Danish house. Okay. Witness security program. And you check this out. Since 1971, more than 19,000 people, WITSEC plus family members. Official figures state that no participant who's followed the program rules has ever been killed as a result of their cooperation, which makes sense for WITSEC. Okay, so I saw that. I'm like, okay, why would Charlie Kirk need a new identity and to go to WITSEC? Answer would be if he is potentially testifying against a large criminal organization that he needs protection from. And here's the thing. If you're Charlie Kirk, you can't just go into WITSEC. You have to die, right? You have to, you can't just be like, oh, Charlie Kirk has vanished. He's vanished, you guys. If he's going into WITSEC, the world needs to think he's dead. That is the only way that you could pull it off. I'm just saying, if that is what happened, which I'm not saying for sure it did. However, it would answer every single question about everybody's behavior at TPUSA, which just seems so bizarre. And, but check this out, right? So that was in New Zealand, right? That's a map of New Zealand where the Valhalla place is, right? And check this out. New Zealand government and the U.S. Embassy confirmed in late July 2025 that the FBI established a, quote, dedicated law enforcement attaché office located at the U.S. Embassy in Wellington, headed by a permanent legal attaché. This is described as the FBI's first standalone office in New Zealand, replacing an arrangement where FBI personnel in Wellington reported through the legal office in Canberra, Australia. So, purpose is stated role. Officials from both countries say the office is intended to deepen cooperation in transnational organized crime, counterterrorism, cybercrime, espionage, child exploitation within the broader Five Eyes intelligence partnership. Wellington Legal Office is expected to coordinate with FBI engagement across parts of the wider Pacific region, including nearby islands, states, and Antarctica. Okay. So, I'm just saying, right? And then there is Kash Patel in New Zealand finalizing that deal. I'm just saying. If you need a why, there you go. There's your why. Now I wonder if the actual reason that Erica and Candace were going to meet in person is because Erica's like, okay, look, okay, listen, you have done such an incredible job here. I have a phone call for you here, Candace. It's Charlie. Can you imagine, dude? I would do any, obviously I'm not saying that this is factually accurate or anything, but I was like, can you imagine being a fly on the wall to Candace's face if that is exactly what happened? That'd be hilarious. Now, I am finishing this recording right now, and now she's about to actually go live in a few minutes. But we are going to now get into the actual nuts and bolts of this video where someone is going to try to scientifically prove that he is actually alive, and we're going to watch that right now. Thank you, guys. They fire the round into the gel block. Charlie has a prosthetic that simulates that he's been hit. It's not real, thus there is no exit wound. Falls over. They run over to him. Security does not allow the EMTs to work on him. This would also explain why there is way less blood than there should be, because there's only enough blood to simulate him getting hit. There's a guy who reportedly was at the hospital who saw Charlie's SUV come in, and then he said that he saw another vehicle come in. All they need is one doctor, that'll verify that he was in there, whatever. They take these fake pictures of Erica with her hand on his hand. They put it out, and oh my God, Charlie's dead. All we have to do now is just convince the world that we're really, really sad, which they did a very bad job of. And that's your theory, right? Like that's basically where we're at.
Yes, very well summarized.
All right, we are good to go. So Algis Nine Dream.
Yeah, New Dream or Algis New Dream. It's supposed to be
Algis New Dream. Okay, cool, man. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. I saw part of the video that you did about the theory that Charlie Kirk is still alive, and I wanted to bring you on because I actually talked to my buddy about it, and I thought that it's you have such a scientific approach to this that I think is going to just over people's heads. And there were some details though that I thought I could kind of help guide the conversation to where if you know this in advance, then this is where this starts to make sense. You know what I mean? And we'll just analyze it I'll basically I will prod the theory like with the scientific method, trying to poke holes in the theory, like what do you actually know, what can't you know, what do you know, etc. And if you want to kind of, I don't know, if you want to give an intro to the whole thing on the, I don't know, what the broad hypothesis is, and then how you went about trying to solve it, then rock and roll, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah, essentially it addresses a lot of things that you said in your videos. It explains all the weird observations, like there was no exit wound, and Erica is not grieving, and Mikey McCoy is walking away, and the Man of Steel, and Trump dancing the next day, or that the security team refused the EMT help, and that there was no bullet recovered, and all the things that you covered in your videos. And I can explain all these observations because I can show that the bullet went into the trunk 20 feet to the right of Charlie Kirk. I'm just gonna share my screen now.
And that's 20 feet to Charlie's right from Charlie's vantage, correct? So like if Charlie's facing this way, 20 feet to his right, that direction,
yes.
Right?
And I'm gonna show you what I mean. I can show you this video or maybe that video. So I'm just gonna show you. So maybe I can bit forward. So this is before the shot. And we can see them talk to each other, and most likely they receive the message and they inform him what he has to do. For example, this guy informs him, okay, you have to pick up the mic with your left hand now.
And that guy right there is the one who is standing on the wall later, filming them take him out, which is super weird.
Yeah, that's the guy, yeah. And now we have a countdown situation. And he grabs his nose. Turek grabs his cap and ear. This guy does the Macarena. And the trunk opened, then they shot into the trunk. And then he falls over.
Can you see the trunk open somewhere?
You can see it here. It's a very small thing. I can make it bigger. I have another one here. I think a bit further.
Oh, okay, I see it.
So can let it run. Here, trunk opens. He grabs his nose. Turek. Then this guy Macarena. And into the trunk. So here the trunk opens, grabs his nose, Turek, Macarena, and into the trunk. Then he falls over, and we never see them close the trunk. We don't have any observation of anyone closing the trunk, but we know it must have been around here, because 19 seconds later, we can see the trunk closed. So right there, then it's already closed. So,
and what is that guy doing right there? So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you present present all your evidence, and then I will. I'll be basically like taking a mental note of questions that I want to ask, and then I'll ask you those questions to try to break the theory afterwards.
Yes, we have a lot of smartphone videos. This one here, you can see the trunk opening, but here we can see some blood. This is why I close it again. So this is the archive page where you can find all these videos. And then
so basically you verified. I mean, we could just take for granted that the trunk opened right before the shot was taken, and it looks to you like they are based on signals that they are giving to get them to rock and roll.
Yes. I think Charlie Kirk by tipping his nose, he said, open the trunk. This is what it looked like. So
and then you use the sound analysis to prove that is where it went.
Yeah, and here we can just see him grabbing his nose and then the trunk opens. So this is what I mean. So it's within a couple of seconds. So in the sound analysis, I can just open up Audacity. So what I did was I downloaded these videos and then I put them into a software called Audacity. This is an audio analysis software. And then I just analyzed all of the audio tracks from these videos. And I can open up the one that we just saw, recording 6 with the trunk opening. This is what this looks like. And here you can see crack thump. This here is the crack and this here is the thump. So the sounds are, the crack is more like a th, and the thump is more like a p. So it sounds like something like that. And this is a technique that soldiers use in combat to determine where their enemies are.
And I'm sorry, you know what we should have done too? So what's your background? Does it in analyzing stuff like this?
I have a background in theoretical physics. There was no one else doing this properly, or there were other people doing it, but I realized they made some mistakes, and then I realized I had to do this myself. I also went through it with Ryan from your team, so I explained it to him. He's also a physicist, and he was
the very first one who brought, like, the first person whose opinion that I am forced to respect due to his background and how smart he is. And he was adamant. He's like, I'm telling you, dude, I think that they juked this thing. And I was like, come on. At some point I'll pull that text message conversation up between he and I, because I was completely dismissive of it. I was like, this is flat earth, dude. Like, there's no way. And it was like the thing that marinated in my mind over and over and over, was where he's like, think about the behavior of everyone at TPUSA. And he's like, the only thing that could explain all of it is if he's alive. And I was like, man, and I just, because that's like, I don't do theoretical physics. I don't do scientific, I don't do like the test and verify. Math spreadsheets, not my thing. I analyze people, and that I would consider myself very, very strong in. And I would just like, man, he's like, that would explain literally every single behavior problem that I have identified, and that other people, it's like, you can't really put your finger on it. You're like, everybody's behaving wrong. I feel like I almost could even pick who is in on it and who's not, if this was true based on their behavior, but anyway, that's how I even started looking at this was that. I think I'm still at sub 10%.
Yeah. And it was great talking to Ryan. Yeah, this is he's very quick at understanding these concepts. And this is recording 2 on this side. So here is where the crack is. Here's where the thump is. You can just play.
And what exactly are you measuring there?
I measure essentially. So this is a mark cone. And it is essentially made up of circles. Now there is one primary circle, and this is the thump circle. And the thump is just the explosion in the gun. Yeah, that you need some kind of explosion.
The crack, you mean, is that?
No, it's this what travels more slowly. It travels at the speed of sound.
Okay.
This is the explosion, or you need some kind of explosion to make the bullet fly away, to accelerate the bullet.
Yep.
And so this,
and the sound is going to reach the microphone at a speed which you are able to calculate because you know how fast the sound is going.
Yeah, this is the second one because it travels more slowly. And the faster one is the crack, and the crack travels with supersonic speed. The crack travels like this. You can see a cone.
Yep.
And it's faster. It's way faster. For example, on this one here, we can see a soldier. But now my VLC is a bit acting out.
No, yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, and this is what it looks like. And I can let it run again. And we can then see that here in this case, so I checked for the bullet going at Kirk, and it's just too late. So, and this is how I could determine that this is not what happened in reality. And yeah, so I made all these clips there. I showed them in my own video, or we can show another one with this recording number 2. We can find it here when it goes into the trunk. So this is another recording, so recording 2. And here we can see that it exactly matches. So exactly what we calculated.
When you put them on top of each other, they all match exactly?
For the trunk shot, yes, and for the Kirk shot, not. So for the Kirk shot...
Okay, let's see that. Did you show that? Like, did you show how they don't match for if it was at Charlie?
That was just what I just showed here.
Okay.
What I just showed here. I can let it run again. So this is I check this recording here and the shot at Kirk.
Okay.
And watch what happens. We expect 13.3, but it's longer. It's 0.15. And this is just longer, and yeah, this is just how I can show it. And yeah, the basis for this are all these calculations here. So this is the 0.13, and here is that actually matches the observation, and here's the 0.15 that doesn't match. So for these two recordings here, recording 2 and recording 5 are on his right, and here we would need something like 2,700 feet per second to calculate what we observe. And when we take the one recording to the left, that is Bartholomew, then it doesn't work out anymore.
We should be able to calculate the speed of the bullet, though, based on, because we know the distance. So if you know the difference between the crack and the thump, and we know he's 140 yards away, we should be able to calculate how fast the bullet was going, correct?
Yes. It's 2,500. So here we have 0.13. So here it always matches. 0.13, 0.13, 0.18, 0.186, or even the third position after the decimal point, or 0.206, 0.206, 0.186, 0.186, 0.133, and here it's okay, 0.1342, but it's also very close. And here for the Kirk shot options, it doesn't match anymore. So this is, or these columns here are the trunk shot options, and they all match these values. And here is the Kirk shot option, these columns, and they don't match.
Okay.
Because here for the trunk shot option, all these cells perfectly match what is observed in the audio track.
They all match if it's going in the trunk.
They all match. And it's not just one recording on the left side, it's also another recording on the left side. It's recording 7 here. This is also to Kirk's left. And this is the famous video by Seb Boykin.
The really graphic one.